Going into the hockey, Canadiens had 9 wins, and so did the New Jersey Devils. This game represented a huge challenge for the Canadiens versus the Devils, who had the 4th best power play going into the game, the 7th best penalty kill. This is a really good team. The duo of Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt, Luke Hughes and Dougie Hamilton on defense, the depth at center ice with Nico Hischier and Dawson Mercer. And guess what? The Montreal Canadiens were up by a score of 3-2 with just over a minute to go in the hockey game. But with Mike Matheson down on the ice after blocking a shot and the Devils pulling their goalie, it was 6-on-4 for them with a loose puck in front of the goal. Jakob Dobes couldn't smother it. Timo Meier got to it before he did, and the Devils tie up the game. On to overtime they go, and the Montreal Canadiens, who are usually very, very good in overtime, for a second straight game, lose the game in overtime. This one didn't go to a shootout. This one was done in overtime. A new hook giveaway. Jesper Bratt on the breakaway, goes to backhand, beats Jakob Dobes 5-hole. The Devils win by a score of 4-3. So many storylines to talk about in this one, including a very emotional Jakob Dobes, who put this one on himself. We'll discuss it and much more with Pierre McGuire coming up. It's the Habs postgame show, the Sick Podcast. I'm Marinaro.
It's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, 'cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K, S-I-C-K, S-I-C-K, S-I-C-K, S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With Tony Marinaro,
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur. Oh!
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the fall!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Coupe Stanley pour les Canadiens. Le 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they worked a young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup!
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. Bittt. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, I hope everyone's doing well. The Montreal Canadiens almost had the New Jersey Devils, but almost isn't good enough. The Canadiens fall by a score of 4-3 in overtime. We have a great show lined up for you tonight with Pierre McGuire standing by, and I'm sure Pierre has a lot of input and a lot of opinions, as he usually does. Sick Podcast brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, a leading asset-light 3PL that's driven to be different from cross-border freight between Canada, USA, and Mexico to coast-to-coast shipping in both Canada and the United States. Energy moves it all fast, reliable, powered by tech that delivers smarter logistics. If you need a real partner in transportation, contact the team at sick@shipenergy.com and see how Energy Transportation Group is changing the freight game. Want to give a shout out to Playground. You haven't really played poker until you played at Playground, voted Fan Choice Best Poker Room at the 2025 Global Poker Awards. Enjoy free drinks at every table, free food at all cash games, daily tournaments, plus the biggest events in the game like the World Poker Tour and the World Series of Poker Circuit. And don't miss your shot at the world record bad beat jackpot, now closing in at $1 million, just minutes from downtown Montreal across the Mercier Bridge. It's Playground. See my fridge behind me? It's stacked with Bittt Tibi, as you can see. They launched their new Ultra Lager. It's a refreshing, thirst-quenching beer, perfect for those cool fall days with only 90 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 4% ABV per can, available in a pack of 6 and 12 in grocery stores all around the province of Quebec. Ultra light, ultra refreshing. It was a game of featuring two teams that both had 9 wins going into the hockey game. And when all was said and done, it's the New Jersey Devils who pick up their 10th win of the season, and the Montreal Canadiens pick up their 2nd straight loss in overtime. Without further ado, let's bring in Pierre McGuire.
The McGuire Report. Presented by Vago Italian.
And of course, the Pierre McGuire is brought to you by, it's the Vago Report, and it's brought to you by Restaurant Vago Italien. Pierre McGuire, one of your favorites, open 23 years. Longevity, not many restaurants open that long. Private dining rooms for any occasions at the back of the restaurant. I've been there several times, and I've seen birthday parties, engagements, corporate meetings being celebrated at the back of the restaurant. There's plenty of free parking on Green Avenue in Westmount. It's open Monday to Saturday evening. It's also open lunch Tuesday to Friday. It's fresh quality ingredients. It's real Italian. It's not one of those that give you an Italian name and then you get there and it's not Italian, this, that, and whatever. It's got old world Italian classics. It's got new Italian. The most popular man in Westmount is Tommaso at the front of the house and his partner Angelo at the back of the house. Pierre McGuire, how are you?
I'm very well. What an exciting night to watch hockey. It's been amazing. You know what? You got to say this about the Montreal Canadiens, Tony. They're fun to watch. They are fun to watch. Even if you're disappointed at the end of the night, they give you entertainment. They give you their heart. They give you their soul. They give you a lot of creative plays, and sometimes they make some mistakes.
Pierre McGuire, the big story, I think, in this one, there's several, but I think a lot of us are kind of like in shock as to what we saw. I don't know if you had a chance to see Jakob Dobes, his interview at the end of the game, Pierre, but he was absolutely devastated. Talk to me, Pierre.
I haven't seen it. I was watching other games. Pittsburgh and Washington's on. I watched Ottawa and Boston at the end, so I haven't seen it, but our excellent producer Shane told me all about it, and I feel terrible for that young man. I really do.
Well, I don't know if we're going to try and get the audio as soon as we can, but maybe we have a couple of pictures to show you. Maybe. Do we have that?
Played good enough to win. Just not good enough from my side. I don't know. Really hard. Yeah.
This is a tough one?
Yeah.
And there you have it. Tough one. Jakob Dobes was absolutely distraught, Pierre. There's a loose puck in front of him. Jack Hughes shoots the puck at the net. Let's put things in perspective here, okay? So the Canadiens are up by a score of 3-2. The Devils pull their goalie. It's 5 men. They're up by a man at that point. 6 men to 5, obviously. Mike Matheson takes a shot. He goes down. He's laboring. He's hurt. At that point, he can't help his team whatsoever. So it's 6-on-4. Jack Hughes notices that Mike Matheson is on the ice and he can't get up and he's laboring. He shoots a puck at the net. In front of the net, there's a couple of New Jersey Devils players that are there, and they're taking a swat at it. One is Dawson Mercer, and another one is Timo Meier. Dobson can't get to Mercer, but when Meier gets there, he gets there before Mike Matheson does. Now, Jakob Dobes is sprawled on the ice. He's trying to look. He's trying to get it. His glove is there. He can't put his glove over the puck. And you know what? Some people have actually taken a picture and put it on the internet, Pierre, showing the puck that's loose. And Dobes doesn't have his hand on it. Pierre, it's not that easy, right? Because what a picture shows you, I mean, it goes so fast at ice level. Obviously, can you believe this? Dobes was actually accused by someone on social media saying that he had a chance to smother it, but he didn't because he was hoping to make another save to increase his save percentage. I mean, the stuff that I hear sometimes, it's unbelievable. Pierre.
Try not to pay attention to that stuff. That being said, Dobes probably should have smothered that puck, but it's easier said than done. I've never played the position, but I've been around some pretty good goalies over the course of my career. When everybody's pushing and shoving and jostling, and you got pucks coming in at a vast array of speed, and then you got bodies around you, there's rebounds, there's an injured player. I mean, there's a lot going on. He just didn't process it quick enough. It happens. It happens to a lot of goalies. It's happened to Marty Brodeur when he played in New Jersey. It's happened to Tommy Barrasso when he played in Pittsburgh. It's happened to Mike Richter when he was in New York. I mean, it's happened to a lot of goalies over time. Stuff happens. Take the point and get out of town. Take the point. You got the point. It's a bitter defeat. Yeah, it is. It is. But you take the point and move on.
I thought Jakob Dobes made some big stops in this hockey game, to tell you the truth. And you know what? I don't think the first goal was terrible. It was a good shot. There were comedy of errors. Alex Newhook tonight is in on Kapanen's goal. He takes a quick shot on net. Jakob Markstrom makes a save, and the rebound goes out to Oliver Kapanen, who, by the way, is tied with Matthew Schaefer now, leading all rookies with 5 goals this season. Who would have thought? So Newhook was in on that, but on the first goal, Newhook collides into a teammate. I believe it's actually Kapanen, and on the game-winning goal, Pierre, Newhook taking a page out of Drake Batherson's book. Actually, last week when Newhook scored that goal on a breakaway, it's funny. Hockey sometimes has a real sixth sense of humor, Pierre, because Jesper Bratt goes on a breakaway on a Newhook giveaway, the way Newhook went on a breakaway 1 week ago on a Drake Batherson giveaway. But Alex Newhook was obviously, he had a brain cramp there, Pierre.
That was a terrible play. He knows it. The coaches know it. His teammates know it. He probably won't do that again this year. Just like I don't think Drake Batherson will do what he did again this year for the Ottawa Senators. It's a fast game played on a slippery surface, played by very, very angry men. That's just how it is. It's a tough game, and it's an unfortunate play. You move on, but I felt I still to this minute I'm like, what was he thinking? That's what I was wondering. Like, what's he thinking?
Speaking of fast play, Pierre, you know what I noticed tonight? The Montreal Canadiens have been so much faster than their opponents for the most part this season. They were not tonight, Pierre. They got skated, and they got skated hard by the New Jersey Devils. And by the way, if we thought the Montreal Canadiens were unbelievable in the 3-on-3, I don't think they touched the puck in this 3-on-3 tonight. I mean, the Devils they threw a lot of speed at the Canadiens. And by the way, the Canadiens power play, which has been so good since the 23rd of October, Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt on the penalty kill gave the Canadiens all kinds of fits. They actually had some of the better scoring chances.
They did tonight, but I'll do turnarounds, fair play. I thought Montreal's penalty killing was phenomenal tonight.
Yeah,
Montreal's penalty killing was really good tonight. They did a great job. They got way more aggressive. But you're right. The Canes need to score on a power play, especially when they're on the road. They weren't able to do it, and a lot of it's because of the way the pressure points were applied by obviously New Jersey. And Nico Hischier's another one of those guys. He's so good at penalty killing. This is going to be a tough matchup for Montreal the rest of the way whenever they play New Jersey, because New Jersey can match their speed and it's probably just a little bit quicker.
It definitely is. You know what? You talked about the Canadiens penalty kill, Pierre, but they had some action tonight because Jaden Struble took a couple of penalties in the third period, Pierre. Pierre, this was we've talked about Jaden Struble, who's been absolutely phenomenal this season after getting in the lineup. There was one bad moment for him, which was when he decided to take a page out of Bobby Orr's book, and he thought that he could take on 3 players of the Seattle Kraken in the offensive zone instead of just dumping it in and retreating. He ended up taking a penalty on the play, and the Seattle Kraken ended up scoring a goal on the power play. That was his one brain cramp. Up until that point, and even after that, it's been very, very good for Jaden Struble. But his 2 penalties tonight, Pierre, were unnecessary. And you talk about Arbor Xhekaj didn't get a lot of shifts last game. I know Struble still got more ice time than Xhekaj tonight, but Struble didn't get a lot of ice, Pierre, in the third period after those 2 penalties. I have a feeling that Coach Marty St. Louis not very happy with Jaden Struble tonight.
He shouldn't be. The second penalty was bad. Jaden can say whatever he wants. The first one I never saw. The feed that I was watching, and I was watching Kenny Danico do the game for the New Jersey Devils. I wanted to hear their perspective. I did not watch the Canadian feed, and I have the ability to do that. And all I'm going to tell you is I never saw it. They never showed the first penalty. You couldn't see. I just telling you, I didn't see it. The second penalty, that's a bad penalty. Well, that's a really bad penalty.
Well, the second penalty is the one where he was he high sticked. Well, he got his arm up and his stick up on Paul Carter.
Yeah.
And the first one, Pierre, came about 3.5 minutes before that when he got 2 minutes for hooking Stefan Neeson. And just 2 unnecessary penalties, Pierre. And you know what? You're supposed to take penalties when you're trying to possibly stop like a dangerous play. And the Canadiens didn't take some good penalties tonight. Ivan Demidov, by the way, didn't take a good penalty either. The Canadiens are on the power play, and he got 2 minutes for tripping in the offensive zone on Dawson Mercer. Having said that, he's battling for the puck, and as he goes for the puck, he ends up taking Dawson Mercer's skate away. He was probably pretty unlucky on that. Kirby Dach's going to the net in period number 1. He ends up getting an interference call. But let's go to positives, Pierre, because it's not all negative. Pierre, for 5 games in a row now, I really have liked Kirby Dach a lot. I know that he scores what was a fluke goal tonight. I get it. But Pierre, this player is playing with confidence. He's playing with grit. He's playing with determination. He's going to the net. He's doing the little things. He's playing responsibly. You don't see Kirby Dach giving away the puck that leads to, an odd man rush here. You don't see Kirby Dach responsible for the other team scoring a goal. Kirby Dach's playing good hockey, Pierre.
He's moving his feet. He's establishing himself with big body presence. The biggest thing that I liked about him tonight in the third period, he tried to take the game over. He did. He tried to dominate the puck and try to take the game over, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. I didn't like the penalty. He knows better than that. I know people are going to say, oh, he's going faster than that. He knew where he was. He didn't even try to hit the brakes. And he thought he'd get away with it. It's okay. Stuff happens. They killed it off. It wasn't a big deal. But he is playing a much better game, and it's really important that he does play a much bigger man's game, and he's doing that right now.
Let's take a look at the lines for both teams. All right, there you have it. Nick Suzuki with Slavkovsky and Cole Caulfield. Oliver Kapanen with Ivan Demidov and Alex Newhook. Dach with Gallagher on his right, Bolduc on his left. Jake Evans with Josh Anderson on the right and Joe Veleno on the left. Matheson, Dobson, Jaden Struble with Hudson. Arbor Xhekaj with Alex Carey. And, of course, Jakob Dobes got the start in goal for the Devils. Jack Hughes with Jesper Brett on his right wing and Stefan Neeson on his left wing. Nico Hischier with Dawson Mercer on his right and Timo Meier on his left. Cody Glass got in there at center. And for previous games, it was actually Dawson Mercer that was playing center with Gritsuk and Palat and Lemico with Glendening and Paul Cotter. Sigenthaler, Hamilton, Dillon, Hughes, Cholowski, and Simon Nemetz. And in goal, Jacob Markstrom for the New Jersey Devils. Pierre, you talk about identity a lot. When Joe Veleno's been in the lineup, they put him on the wing. I don't like Joe on the wing. I like Joe at center. But then Joe has to be good enough to be in at center. And right now, he's not good enough to dislodge Kapanen or Dach or Evans. Talk to me about a fourth line, Pierre, and the identity a fourth line has to have, because I got the feeling that a line doesn't have an identity, Pierre.
No,
not with Veleno anyway. I know what they're trying to do with Evans and Anderson, but Veleno's just not a fit there, Pierre. I'd love him to be, but he's just not. Your thoughts?
Not right now. They even tried to let him take a couple face-offs on that line and put Jake Evans on the left wing.
He went 1 for 4 for 25%.
There you go. They tried. I mean, I give them credit. They're trying to get the kid going. I respect that. I admire that a lot. They're going to have to do some fine-tune. Look, every team's – this is the first time I've ever said this, Tony. Every team in this league is imperfect. There's no team that you can say, yep, they're going to win the cup. They're going to win the – you can't. Every team's going to have to make amazing adjustments as they go along this season. Montreal's one of them. They're still a good team. They're going to be a playoff team. They're a very good team. But they're going to have to make some adjustments too. As far as Joe goes, he's a centerman. He's not a winger. You can see he's uncomfortable playing on the wing. It's not – look, they just don't have enough room right now. Who's he going to play ahead of? He's not playing ahead of Jake Evans. He's not going to play ahead of Nick Suzuki. So who do you want him to play ahead of? He's not going to play ahead of Kapanen, I don't think.
Pierre, speaking of identity, some people will ask the question. Now, please hear me out. He's played 3 games thus far this season. He's a 13th forward, maybe even a 14th forward in the National Hockey League. But some will point at the fact that the Canadiens placed Samuel Blais on waivers, and they didn't have to, Pierre. They could have started the season with a 23-man roster. They chose to start it with 22 to obviously be able to add cap space going forward so that they can probably use it at the end of the year. When you take a look at that decision now to put Blais on waivers, seeing that the Canadiens lack an identity on their fourth line and Veleno's playing wing on that line, do you think that was a mishap, yes or no?
No, I don't, because you still have young guys in the American Hockey League that might be able to come up, and one of them is Florian Jacki, who can play that robust, nasty role, and he can do it as a winger or a centerman. You got Jared Davidson, who I think can score goals and also play a physical brand if you have to have him do that. Owen Beck, even though he's a natural centerman, can still do. No, I don't think it was a mistake at all.
Perfect. Gotcha. I wouldn't be surprised if, speaking of Davidson, Pierre, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him maybe as early as next week. It
wouldn't surprise me either. But here's the one thing. You got to remember, a lot of those veteran players, and you know this is for the fans at home. You take Joe Veleno. You want to send him down in the American Hockey League, you're going to put him on waivers. You may lose him. You might. I don't know, but you might.
Yeah. Well, Jared Davidson has 7 goals in 10 games, and the Laval Rocket play the Hartford Wolfpack tomorrow night at Place Bell. It's a 7 o'clock start, by the way. We at Sick Media, of course, and the Sick Podcast will be broadcasting the game. We are the official French audio digital partner for all home Laval Rocket games. So we'll bring you that game tomorrow night, Friday night, versus the Hartford Wolfpack. On Sunday afternoon, the Laval Rocket are going to visit the Belleville Senators. We will not bring you that game because obviously it is on the road. I want to talk to you about a great contest that we have going on right now. It's Point S and GT Radial. They're offering you the chance to win a new set of GT Radial winter tires, plus free installation at a Point S garage, a total value of $1,000. In order to participate, go to the Instagram pages of the Sick Podcast, like and comment on the pin post. Follow the Sick Podcast on Instagram and follow Point S on Instagram. The contest ends November 16. Point S is your trusted garage for complete vehicle care. And I know a lot of people are going to be crazy about this contest because you have until December 1st to change your winter tires, and everyone could always use a brand new set of winter tires. And GT Radial, they make pretty good winter tires. All right, okay. We got so much more to talk about. Let's take a look at the score sheet, scoring in this game. All right, Cody Glass, Pierre, unassisted in period number 1. Once again, 2 Canadians bump into each other. Cody Glass is given a little bit of time and space. It's a quick wrister. It's the first shot of the hockey game for the New Jersey Devils. I don't think it's a bad goal given up by Dobes, but yet I think he was a little surprised that the shot came when it came and where it went. Your thoughts on that goal that put the Devils up by score?
I think he was surprised by the velocity of the shot too, Tony, Because if you watch in the third period, Cody Glass launched one and almost scored again in the third period with a high velocity shot. So I think it just fooled the goaltender. He wasn't ready for it.
Let's go back to the scoring if we can. Kirby Dach ties it up once again. This one here is a shot at the net, and it just bounces right. It redirects and it bounces right off of Jakob Markstrom, hits him in the back, and it actually goes in. And everyone was shocked in the building, including Kirby Dach, who gets his 4th of the season. He probably says, you know what? I've tried so many things to score over the past couple of years, and now an easy one like that goes in. But things are going well for Kirby. And when they do, those pucks tend to go in, Pierre.
They do. That was a very strange goal. It was funny listening to the announcers from New Jersey talk about. They're like, that puck went in, really? It's kind of interesting. Good for Kirby. I mean, those are probably the easiest assists Matheson and Dobson have ever had. They were the two guys that assisted on the goal. I'm not even sure they knew they got assists, honestly. But hey, look, it's tied at 1 at that point, and then the Canadiens are back in the game because they were getting dominated at the beginning of that game. Big time, they were getting dominated.
All right, okay. Let's go back to it right now in terms of the scoring. Palat in the second period with the assist going to Simon Nemec and Chalowski. Pierre, how did you see this one?
What's interesting about that? That's Palat's first goal, as you see mentioned there, and he just rifled it high. I thought Dobes went down a bit early, but he likes to go down early, and Palat felt comfortable shooting the puck, and he put it up and over him.
Yeah, once again, for those who missed it, Jakob Dobes was really hard on himself after the game, basically saying that he thought he let his teammates down. Second time they lose in overtime versus the New Jersey Devils. They lost the game there last year as well. He thought that his team in front of him was good. He thought his team was good enough to win, and he thought that he actually let them down. Pierre, I don't remember the last time we saw the kind of emotion from losing a regular season game of which your team actually even picked up a point. My God, this guy has set the bar very, very high, Pierre. I mean, this guy's putting a lot of pressure on himself.
He's probably been doing that for a long time. The one thing is he probably is grateful for the opportunity that's been given by the organization too, especially the coaching staff. They could have very well gone back to Sam Montembeault and play that game tonight, and they didn't. They chose to play him, and I think he takes that personally in a good way, in a complimentary way. Having that, I think he'll learn as he goes along. Having that kind of emotion every single night, that's not a recipe for long-term success. He's going to have to gauge it a little bit better, but I'm sure he'll get help doing that. He will. I'm sure he will.
You know what? He's definitely going to have to get help here because, look, I know a lot of people are looking at that and they're loving it and they're saying this guy cares, and he does care. That's awesome that he cares that much. But if you put that much pressure on your shoulders, like the goalie for the Montreal Canadiens is supposed to stay even keel. He's not supposed to be affected by that. And I think he's going to need some help in that respect, Pierre, because it could end up weighing on him a lot.
There's no question. I mean, I've dealt with players that have had that kind of situation before, and it's not easy to go through, but there's definitely help there for them. And talk it out, and you understand as you mature and you start to understand the league a little bit better that not every game is a Super Bowl. It's an 82-game schedule for a reason. You just got to measure it out. And I love his passion. I love his energy. I love how much pride he has in wearing the sweater. That's really important. But you got to sometimes just let it go. That game was not on him, by the way. It was not on him. That was definitely not on him.
Who was it on, Pierre?
Well, there were a lot of mistakes made, especially early on. I didn't like the team defense of the Montreal Canadiens at all. They were very fortunate, by the way. Dobson saved them one time.
Yes.
And then was it Matheson, I think, another time that saved them. The puck was right on the icing line and it was going in. I didn't like the Newhook play, obviously, that leads to the goal, the game-winning goal. I love their penalty kill. I thought their penalty kill was great, but I didn't like the fact that they had to kill so many penalties. And so Struble played a role in that too. So there's a lot of guilty culprits here, but I didn't think the game was that terrible. I just didn't like certain players and some of their actions. I didn't think it was very good.
I want to show you the event summary, the players' ice time at the end of the game. There's a few things that I need to look at here with you. Okay. Ivan Demidov took a puck off the ankle, went back to the locker room, went back to the locker rooms, but his minutes were 10 minutes and 27 seconds. All right. Joe Veleno had 12:44. Kirby Dach had 11:37. Zachary Bolduc had 9:11. Please enlighten me. So, God love Joe, but Joe Veleno didn't play a better game than Kirby Dach tonight.
No.
He didn't play a better game than Zachary Bolduc tonight. And the duo of Dach and Bolduc was actually very, very good the time they were out there. By the way, Kirby Dach took 5 faceoffs tonight. He went 5-0 for 100%. Yeah. Joe Veleno took 4, like you talked about. He went 1-3 for 25%. Kirby Dach had a goal in this hockey game, and he was a +1. Zachary Bolduc showed at the beginning of the season, I think he scored 4 goals in his first 4 games on the road. Can you begin to enlighten me on some of the ice time the players got and some of the ice time some players didn't get, and what Marty St. Louis was thinking tonight?
I don't know. I really don't. Part of that might be the Demidov injury. Maybe he was more comfortable with certain guys, with other guys. That's a question for the media, ask the coach. But when you display it this way and express it the way you just did, you have to ask the question: why was Veleno playing more than Bolduc? Why was Veleno playing more than Kirby Dach? You got to ask the question. And if the coach gives you an answer, he gives you an answer. If he doesn't give you an answer, then maybe it might be showcase cinema. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to say, hey, he can do it or he can't do it. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
So Mike Matheson, 27-16 tonight, 26-52 for Lane Hudson. I think what's pretty amazing by Matheson's 27-16 is that he's on the ice versus New Jersey's better players, and he had just 1 giveaway in the game, blocked 5 shots. Lane Hudson also blocked 3 shots, which is amazing. He had 4 giveaways, but he handles the puck a lot more than Mike Matheson does. Noah Dobson had 20 minutes and 59 seconds. He had 6 minutes and 17 seconds less than Mike Matheson. I thought Dobson played a great game tonight. I don't understand how he played 6:17 less than Matheson.
Because he doesn't get as much penalty killing time. That's the biggest one right there. If you look at the penalty killing time for Dobson, it's 2 minutes and 7 seconds. You look at the penalty killing time for Matheson, it's 7:01. So it's almost 5 minutes difference. So that would bring it up if you follow me. And then the other guy you got to look at on the penalty kill is Carrier, 6:11. But if you watch at the end of the game, who's on the ice with Mike Matheson? It's not Noah Dobson. It's Alex Carrier. When they scored, it's Carrier.
Correct. Yes, you're right. Correct. You're right. Yeah.
So you look at, so it's specialized situations. Right now, they're not comfortable, clearly, having Dobson on at different times, whether it's on the penalty kill or whether it's defending a lead late in the game or late in a period. That's pretty apparent.
Should they be?
Right now, I think, to your point, he was a +3 in that game tonight. He had 2 assists. I don't see him at the beginning when he was here, and I said it to you on the show. They got to get him to defend better down low from the hash mark to the icing line. I've said that to you numerous times.
Yes,
I've seen him improve. I've seen him improve on that 100%. Does he do it better than Carrier? No, he doesn't do that better than Carrier. He does not.
Arbor Jack guy at 10 minutes and 54 seconds. He finishes the night -1. He didn't have a hit. I get it. The game is fast. The game was fast tonight. I'm just.
No, but the other thing, he's playing on eggshells right now. He doesn't want to be that guy that's out of the lineup because he took a bad penalty. He knows Caden Gooley's back skating. He does. And he knows Strubal's passed him on the depth chart. Now that could change. That could change tonight after what Strubel was doing in the penalty box. But I think once Gooley's back, it's going to be very interesting for Arbor, and it's going to be very interesting for Jaden in terms of who's going to be in the lineup.
All right. Okay. Let's take a look at once again. We're going to get to some of your comments, by the way, and we're going to bring them up and some of your questions, and we're going to tackle them as well. But let me talk to you about another one of our sponsors. The Canadiens will host the Utah Mammoth on Saturday night here at the Bell Center. You want to get in on the action, go all the way with Betway and get a deposit matchup bonus up to $300 on your first deposit. Scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the details section to create an account. Redeem your welcome offer. Offer is only available for new customers. Terms and conditions apply. Offer is not available in Ontario. Must be 18 years of age and older. And please play responsibly. All right, okay. Back to the score sheet we go. All right, okay. Jake Evans in period number 3, Pierre, 59 seconds in. This was a gift from Jacob Markstrom.
Was it ever?
It went right
Jake
to
Evans
him.
is coming down the right side, and he puts the puck on goal, and he's just trying to get it on goal. And for whatever reason, Markstrom's right or left pad, isn't firmly on the ice. It just goes right through him. That was a bizarro goal. It really was.
Kapanen's goal, Pierre, was a lot of pressure from Demidov and Newhook. They put a lot of pressure in the offensive zone. They were able to retrieve a puck and get it Demidov to Kapanen. Kapanen shoots it at, Demidov to Newhook. Newhook shoots it. Markstrom makes the save. Kapanen backhands the rebound home, and he puts the Canadiens up. Timo Meier once again ties the game with 1 minute and 7 seconds left in regulation. Pierre, the question needs to be asked. Why do the Canadiens blow as many leads as they blow?
They're figuring out where they are as a group. It's a lot better than where they were last year. They're still figuring it out. I think we already just went over it in terms of who's on the ice at certain times. I think it's something they're going to figure out. Here are the guys we can trust. Here are the guys we can't trust. But that was a tough tonight. Matheson blocking the shot. You're basically down 2 guys. And I felt bad for Michael. Michael played his butt off. I know people are going to rip on him. Michael Matheson played his butt off.
Oh, for sure he did. Pierre, they start the overtime. The Canadiens have Suzuki, Caulfield, and Lane Hudson.
Mm-hmm. They lose the draw right off the top, though.
The New Jersey Devils have Nico Hischier, who wins draws, with Dawson Mercer, who's also pretty good in the circle as well, and Luke Hughes. Could you imagine starting an overtime without Jack Hughes? That's what they did.
Yeah, well, they're doing it for one reason. They want to win the draw.
Yeah.
And Nico's really good at it, and Dawson's really good at it. And they've both been good at it for a long time. That's the value of Dawson Mercer. Dawson Mercer can be a centerman, he can be a winger, and he can play on either side. He can kill penalties, and he can also be in your power play. I don't know if you saw the play where he corralled the pass in the in the second period with the puck way up in the air with his stick. It was like a highlight play. It was all over the New Jersey broadcast. It was an amazing display of skill. It was absolutely phenomenal. He's he's a really talented kid. He really is.
Yep. He is a very, very good player. By the way, no update on Dougie Hamilton tonight from the Devils, says Amanda Stein. He'll be evaluated tomorrow. He played 10 minutes in this hockey game, Pierre, and he was out for an injury. Yep. Here's a player who has, Dougie Hamilton's been through some wars, Pierre.
He has, but this has been a really good start to the year for him. He's been really good this year, for the Devils. And don't forget that Kovacevic, the former Montreal Canadiens player, is not playing right now. Neither is Brett Pesce. Those are 2 main guys out of their lineup in New Jersey. Their lineup's better than what you saw tonight. And don't forget, too, Dadonov's not playing either for New Jersey. So they've got some guys that they can bring in that are pretty darn good.
Pittsburgh Penguins won tonight, Pierre. They now have the same amount of points as the Montreal Canadiens and the New Jersey Devils.
They are working, Tony. I can tell you right now, they are not the most fun team to watch because of their high skill level. They have skill. They are the most diligent, hardworking. We're not taking any guff from anybody team. They don't have heavyweights. They just go out and play. They stack it up in the neutral zone. They play a free-flow offensive game. Their passing skills are much better than a lot of the teams that they play, and they don't get enough credit for that. And their coach is so positive. I think they got tired of listening to the old message, and it's not Mike Sullivan's fault that he was there that long. He did a lot of good things. They just got tired. They needed a new messenger. They got it now in Dan Muse, and Dan Muse is doing a really good job with them.
All right, let's go back to the event summary. And we'll take a look at a couple of stats here. Pierre, what do you want to focus on?
Well, you touched on Michael Matheson, the 5 block shots. One of them he got hurt on. That led to the game-tying goal by Timo Meier. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I thought Brendan Gallagher was really solid without getting any points in the game tonight. 11:30 seems a little light on the ice time. I don't know if you agree or not, but it seems a little bit light on the ice time.
So you like Brendan Gallagher? He too was a minute 14 less than Veleno.
That's what I'm saying. I think he probably should have been getting a little bit more time. There was one other one that stood out to me that I was like, whoa, that's a little bit high. Oh, it was Josh Anderson. He's almost 16 minutes in the game. I thought that was a bit high.
I don't understand what's going on with Bolduc's ice time.
That's the guy. So that's where I was going to go next. That's the guy that I'm wondering, why are they alienating him in the process? Because at the start of the year, he's on the first power play, and I get why they took him off it, but it doesn't mean he can't play 5-on-5.
I hear you, and I'm wondering if they think that he can't play 5. By the way, not so sure you saw this, Pierre, but did you see who was a healthy scratch in St. Louis tonight?
Yeah, Gyro was a healthy scratch, yeah.
Logan Mailloux and Jordan Kyrou. Pierre, what's going on with Kyrou? Here's a guy whose name was brought up in trade rumors last year. Obviously, he didn't end up going anywhere. Pierre, Jordan Kyrou, a healthy scratch for the St. Louis Blues. And God knows, they can use some of their best players to be in the lineup.
And you know what the coach will tell you? We went into Buffalo and we shut them out. We beat them without Kyrou and Mailloux in the lineup.
You know what I tell the coach? I can grab my friend Phil and a couple of guys down the street. We can go to Buffalo. We can beat the Sabres too. Come on, let's be honest here.
Well, they needed a win, St. Louis, and they got one. They needed a win, especially after what happened to them in Washington last night. They got steamrolled last night.
Do you think that -8 has anything to do with it? Jordan Kyrou's -8. No, I'm asking.
How about that, and then go look at Logan Mailloux's minus. What's Logan Mailloux's minus?
Logan Mailloux just last night was -3. Pierre, I mentioned this before. I mean, I don't. St. Louis is not doing any favors by keeping Logan Mailloux up with the big team. His development is not over, Pierre. He needs the American Hockey League badly.
He definitely does. He needs to learn how to defend.
Yeah.
Offensively, he's fine. He needs to learn how to defend. But I think he's close to -10 now.
Pierre, should the Canadiens be interested in Jordan Kyrou? This doesn't mean that the St. Louis Blues are going to put him on the market, but when you make a player like this a healthy scratch, I mean, there's warning signs here. I mean, something's not right in St. Louis.
Yeah, no, something's not right there. I agree with that. They're not winning, and there was huge expectation, much higher than last year. I just don't know when I look at the Canadiens lineup and I think about who's he playing ahead of? Who's he going in ahead of? He's not playing ahead of Slavkovsky, and he's not playing ahead of Caulfield. He's not playing ahead of Demidov, probably not playing ahead of Newhook. So he's not in your he doesn't fit in your bottom 6. He's just not that kind of player.
I'd have him ahead of Newhook.
Maybe now after tonight.
He'd be your
Newhook
fourth.
was pretty good for a while to start the year. He'd
be your fourth winger. Having said that, he's not the priority. The priority is a second line centerman, unless of course Kirby Dach ends up being that guy this year. Finally,
I wouldn't panic right now with the Canadiens lineup. I think the lineup's pretty good. They just got to gel. They need to learn how to defend a little bit better with the lead late in the game. They do. They have to learn how to, and they'll find the personnel that fit. They will. They'll find the personnel.
Can we bring up the hockey stat card? Here you go, Pierre. Noah Dobson and Mike Matheson. I want you to take a look at individual offense. I want you to take a look at team offense above average. I want you to take a look at team defense above average. Pierre, they were very, very good for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, we said that. I mean, I'm not going to back off of that. They were both good. I'm a little surprised that Dobson didn't get more time. But again, we showed the discrepancy when it comes to the penalty kill minutes. You know, Carrier gets more minutes than him. Matheson gets more minutes than him, and that's why Dobson's minutes get hurt, and he doesn't play in the first power play. Lane Hudson gets most of that first power play.
Out of the Canadiens defensemen, once again, it was a very difficult night for the pairing of Arbor Jack and Alex Carrier, as you can see in terms of the hockey stat card, in terms of team defense above average and the team offense above average. They were pinned in their zone a lot. It was not an easier night for Lane Hudson and James Struble. It was a little bit easier, but barely. It was a very difficult night for them as well. And Pierre, I've never seen this. The Canadiens' number one line of Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, and Juraj Slafkovsky, in terms of the team offense being above average, they weren't able to deliver any offense tonight, as you can see from the hockey stat card, Pierre.
No, because the last change went to New Jersey, and New Jersey had a plan. They said, if those guys don't score, we don't lose. That I'm telling you, that I'm paraphrasing, but pretty much I guarantee you Travis Green said something like that. And so they made their life difficult, and they play. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but they took time and space away from Lane Hudson real quick tonight. I think they did their best to make Lane Hudson very uncomfortable.
Pierre, when I saw the way they played Lane Hudson tonight, I said to myself, this is a team that studied tape. Like, they were on it tonight. It's like they knew. Lane Hudson is, I think, one of the most unpredictable players in the National Hockey League with terms of his movements, with terms of his head fakes, with what he does with his shoulders, with the way he moves. He's unpredictable. I don't even know if he knows what he's thinking and what he's doing when he's doing it. Tonight, they had him telegraphed, Pierre. They were cutting off his lanes all the time. They were taking the body to him. They were taking him out of the play. I thought it was it's not that it was difficult. It's just that he was not his dominant self. He was not able to do the things with the puck that he usually does.
The only guy I've seen that does what he does and gets away with it is Quinn Hughes in Vancouver. You know, people say, well, what about Jake Sanderson? Jake Sanderson's way bigger than Lane Hudson. Like, he's a big, powerful man. He's more the size of Cale Makar. He might even be a little bit bigger than Cale. But the only guy I've seen that's like Lane Hudson in the league at that side that can do the stuff that they do is Quinn Hughes. There's no other small guy that's doing that. You know, I'm watching Zellweger for Anaheim tonight. They're going to win in Dallas if they haven't already. And, you know, he scored tonight. He's a small guy, but he can't do what those guys do. Not even close.
You know, when we talked about the fact that the Penguins won again and they beat the Washington Capitals. So last night, Ovechkin scored his 900th goal, Pierre.
Oh, I'm aware.
Tonight, Sidney Crosby scored 2 goals. At age 38, he has more goals than any player in the National Hockey League, Pierre.
So he's a unique phenom, right? You don't have to sell me on Sid. I think you know what I think of Sidney. It's been well documented over time. What's interesting about that is they played Ben Kindle on Sid's line tonight. It was Brian Rust, Ben Kindle, and Sidney Crosby tonight.
Correct, yes.
That's amazing for an 18-year-old kid like Kindle. That's amazing because he's a natural center iceman. And they put him on the line. But a lot of it's because of injury. Obviously, they don't have Ricard Raquel, and that's a big loss for that line and that team. But, man, oh, man, he was good. He was really good. Sid's amazing. Sid's amazing. He's amazing.
So if I go back to 1980 to present day, and there's been so many amazing hockey players, Alex Ovechkin, Jaromir Jagr, Mark Messier, Steve Yzerman, Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, list goes on and on.
Mario Lemieux.
And I say to you, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby. That's my list. That's my top 3.
That'd be good. I have no qualm with that at all.
You're okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, here's what you got to quantify the winning aspect of it. Okay. So let's just do this for Sid. Sid took a team in 2005 to the Memorial Cup out of Rimouski. They lost to the London Knights at London. I was there covering it. There's no way they should have been in that. They got there because of Sidney Crosby. The 05 World Junior team that Canada sent was the best World Junior team they ever had. Sidney Crosby played online with Patrice Bergeron and Corey Perry. It was ridiculous how much they dominated. He's the youngest Canadian never scored a goal in the World Junior, 16 years of age. Go look at what happened in 2010 with the Golden Goal. Go look at what happened in the Stanley Cup final in 2009. The fact they got to the final in 08. Go look at the final in 16. Go look at the final in 17. I can keep adding them up. Go look at the gold medal game in 2014. All Crosby does is win. That's why he's part of the pantheon that you're talking about.
The 4 Nations face-off last year.
Yeah, he's part of that. He didn't. I would say this. At the beginning he was better than he was at the end in that tournament.
Yes,
he was. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He definitely was. Versus Sweden, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But you know, Sid's whole thing is about winning. And now they're winning. So he's like, I'm going to PPW. I'm going to prove a lot of people wrong. That's what he wants to do.
Can I put Connor McDavid fourth on that list?
You could.
But he hasn't won yet. So
can I tell you one guy that I think is as good or better than him? Nathan MacKinnon. I don't think he gets nearly enough credit. You know, I was locked in with those guys in the Pubble in Edmonton 4 years ago or whatever it was, 4.5 years ago. And Nathan was at another level. McKinnon's team got knocked out by, McDavid's team got knocked out by Chicago.
There's a lot of people that say that Connor McDavid's a better individual talent, but Nathan MacKinnon's a better hockey player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to. They're both amazing, you know.
Of course, they're both amazing. Yeah,
but I've never seen a player with the pure power. Even Forsberg wasn't like this guy. Talking about, you know, obviously Nathan MacKinnon. I've never seen a guy that powerful ever.
Can I make one more comment before we get back to the Montreal Canadiens?
I love it when you do this.
Sidney Crosby, like I said, along with Gretzky and Lemieux, are the most incredible hockey players I've ever seen in my life. The way Sidney plays, the way he carries himself, the way he dominates, the way he leads, the way he's 200 foot, the way he's a perfectionist, all of it put together. The guy that I've seen, and I'm not going to compare him to Crosby, that most reminds me of Crosby, even though I said I'm not going to compare him, I just did. It's Macklin Celebrini, Pierre.
So here's how I do it. They're similar in a lot of ways. Here's how I do it. Celebrini's got a way better one-timer than Sid. Sid would be the first person to tell you that. I see Macklin Celebrini more like Jonathan Toews in his prime with way more offense. He's way more of a pure offensive player than Jonathan was. Jonathan could get in there and make it the track a little bit more muddy for the other team's best players. I did every single Stanley Cup game Jonathan Toews ever played in. Every single one. And all the big ones, the World Junior, the shootout game in Lexan. You know, he was the MVP at the Olympics in freaking Vancouver. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
You know, so I see Celebrini more like Toews. I saw Celebrini play so much at Boston University. I saw him practice a lot too, Tony. And one of the things I used to tell Scotty Bowman when I'd leave those practices, you got Lane Hudson putting it on a tee for Macklin Celebrini. He's a left shot on the right-hand side of the ice, and he's absolutely carpet bombing the other team's goalie. It's unbelievable how hard he can shoot the puck.
One of the things, I'll get back to the Canes now. I asked my co-host earlier this morning on the French show is, this would make quite a debate, huh? For the next 10 years, Demidov or Bedard?
Oh, honestly, I'd take Demidov. I would. It's not a knock on, but until they figure out where they're going to play Bedard, I mean, I don't think he's a centerman. So they got to figure out. They got to get him on the wing, and they got to get him a centerman. But he's an amazing talent. He shoots the puck unbelievable. Demidov is going to be a freak show superstar. He's going to be really good.
Pierre, last year the Canadiens had difficulty on the defensive side of the puck. The first month was rather difficult. The second game of the season, they gave up 6 in a loss in Boston. They lost 6-4. The fourth game of the season, I think they lost 6-3 on home ice to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Around the 22nd or something like that of October, they lost 7-2 on home ice to the New York Rangers. Exactly 1 week later, they lost 8-2 on home ice to the Seattle Kraken. A couple of nights after that, they lost, I think, 6-3 again, this time in Washington on Halloween night versus the Capitals. Fast forward to the 12th of December, they're down 3-2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins at period number 3. They lose by a score of 9-2. And it looked like they had all kinds of trouble with that hybrid defense, that man-to-man, and then all of a sudden some adjustments. And you credited Roger Grillo and said he's the man in the sky, and you're positive that he had a lot to do with the Montreal Canadiens turnaround on the defensive side of the puck. They give up a lot of goals. They give up shots. They give up scoring chances. They give up leads. Something with the system, or just the youngest team in the league? You said before, you talked about finding their way. When the coaches look at this and they look at the tape, do they say, we got to fine tune a couple of things here? Or do they say, we're the youngest team in the league where they're finding their way?
No, they need to fine tune some things. You can still teach young players how to be better. I'll give you an example. I think it was 80 goals, but it might be a couple more. From one year to the next, when I was in Hartford, that's how many we cut goals against.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a goal per game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can do it. You can do it. It just you got to grind on it every day.
I got a question for you. That year that you cut 80 goals, did you sacrifice offense?
We're pretty close. We had the top line we had, it was Castle, Sanderson, Verbeek. The first year they all were over 80 points, and Sanderson was well over 40 goals. The next year they weren't all over 80 points, but Sanderson was over 40 goals again. So I'm going to say, yeah, we probably sacrificed a little bit of offense for better defense.
So
yeah,
you had to ask the whole team, including them, to tighten up.
Yeah. I'll tell you a great story if you want to hear it. It won't take long.
Of course I want to hear it.
We're playing Tampa at home. Terry Crisp and Wayne Cashman are coaching, and it's a Sunday afternoon game, and those three guys were on the ice, and they were terrible. And I just told them, I said, sit down. I didn't say it this nice. I said, sit down and watch, because you're hurting your teammates. You guys don't care about playing defense. You're not going to play today. And we got back in the game, and then I started playing them, and they started playing like demons. They were so good. We ended up winning the game. And I don't know how well you know Wayne Cashman, but he's one tough guy. Wayne was a real tough guy. And he just looked at me, and he shook his head, and he goes, that's old school. He says, that's really old school. I said, yeah, it was. It was old school.
Pierre, pretty cool news. We got 1,400 people watching us right now on YouTube. We got about another 2,000 watching us on Twitter. We got a couple of hundred watching us on Facebook, and we appreciate that very much. I'll ask the question, Kirby Dach. I think we both agree that we really like the last 5 games that he's played for the Montreal Canadiens. And we saw something tonight with Bolduc. Mind you, I don't think Marty St. Louis did, because he gave Bolduc about 9 minutes. But Pierre, is it time for Dach, Bolduc, and Demi Duff?
I don't know why it would hurt to try. The one thing I'm going to tell you, Tony, you better get ready. Not you, but the team better be ready for a track meet on Saturday night. Utah skates. I did the game last night against Toronto. And if you don't have a plan to shut down some of their speed, you're going to be in trouble. I'm telling you right now, like, as fast as you think New Jersey is, these guys are up in that category. They come at you in waves. And the way Toronto beat them last night, it was no carrying the puck in. It was chip, chase, and check hockey. Force them to go 200 feet, congest the neutral zone, force them to turn pucks over, and then quick counter, then go after them. Toronto had a real plan for it. If Montreal doesn't have a plan for them tomorrow, so I don't know if you want to be messing with your lines going into that game, but I'd be messing with my strategy for tomorrow. I'd have it ready, or Saturday.
Yeah.
I'd have my strategy ready. Yep.
Oh, you talked about a track meet. They can fly. You're absolutely right, Pierre. They got a lot of team speed. They're a lot of fun to watch.
Their team speed is phenomenal. I mean, people don't even know how fast Logan Cooley is, or Clayton Keller is, or Nick Schmaltz. Nick Schmaltz is having an unbelievable year. Unbelievable year.
Nick Schmaltz is having an unbelievable year. It's funny because I thought the Canadiens should have gone after him last year.
You know what's crazy, Tony? And I know Montreal fans love to hate on this guy. Sergachev's playing his butt off. Sergachev's playing really well for them.
Sergachev's a monster.
He's playing really well.
Has Barrett Hayton come into his own, Pierre?
In the role that they have him in right now, yeah, I'd say yes. He's jamming the opposition crease. He's trying to be a thorn in the side of all the other good players on the other team, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. He did a nice job of that last night. You know, in Toronto, he's an Ontario kid. He got going home, and I thought he did a pretty good job of it last night. This
is what Montreal Canadiens fans can expect on Saturday night. Barrett Hayton, Nick Schmaltz, Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, Dylan Guenther, JJ Peterka. There's a lot of talent there. Add to that Sergachev on the first unit of the power play. Nate Schmidt will be there on the penalty kill blocking shots. Simishev and John Marino will be on the penalty kill as well. They're a good team.
They are, and Tourigny's a good coach. Andre Tourigny, I did some World Juniors with him. He's a good hockey coach. Blaine Forsythe is one of the best power play assistant coaches in the National Hockey League. He works there. When Washington was always first, second, or third in the league, he ran their power play, and he ran it for a long time with a bunch of different head coaches. He's a power play guy, and they're going to keep getting better on the power play too.
I guess you go back with Montembeault next game because Jakob Dobes didn't win.
I would. Not only that, the emotional part of it, I want this guy to decompress, and I don't need him doing it in goal. I need him doing it calmly and getting it together. And I think Montembeault will go in there and want to play hard and try to regain his footing. I don't see why you wouldn't go back with him.
Here's a good stat. Only 16 defensemen have 10-plus points in the National Hockey League this season. Pierre, 2 of them are Montreal Canadiens, Noah Dobson and Lane Hudson. Why don't we take there were 4, 3, 7 goals scored on the night. So let's take 7 questions. Let's do that. Lucky 7. Alex Barr sends over $5. I'm tired of Nick Suzuki and his reserved cool cucumber demeanor. Is this serious or what? I mean, no one talks about the cool cucumber demeanor when he has great games, which is like 90% of the time.
And the other night, even though the Canadiens lost in the shootout, you see some of the hits he put on. He had 2 massive neutral zone hits. He was dominating the puck.
On Christian Dvorak.
Yeah, I think he probably played his way on Team Canada the other night against Philadelphia because they were basically saying, who's better, Suzuki or Konechny? In that game, it wasn't even close. And Doug Armstrong was at the game.
I'm going to take it a step further. I think he was laboring tonight because of the lost game.
From the hit or the shot block?
The shot block.
Yeah, the shot block. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He didn't practice yesterday.
So there you go.
He didn't practice yesterday. And tonight, he wasn't good.
No.
Or it wasn't terrible because, I mean, he limited Jack Hughes, but I think he's hurt. I think he's hurt. Yeah. Or just not 100%. Question 2. We're going to take 7. Gregory Dubo sends over $5. Biggest problem in Montreal right now, and they had issues with it last season as well, can generate shots on a consistent basis. Your thoughts, Pierre?
That's fair. That's a fair point. That's something they got to get better at, and they'll work through that. They got to get when their quick counter game is going, they'll get more shots.
You know, when I noticed that, Pierre, too, they had 2 power plays tonight. One of them was cut short, but on the one power play that wasn't cut short, Demidov, Suzuki, Hudson, they're passing. And I'm like, guys, you got to put pucks at the net. I mean, you're not going to, they look like they were looking for the perfect play to break down the Devils' penalty kill. Question 3. Tony Marinaro, Pierre, would Davidson be the solution on the 4th line to give that line some identity?
That's what we talked about before, Tony, and I would agree. I talked to it with my Tony, too. That's right across from me. So, yeah, I think that's probably at some point going to happen, yeah.
I want to take a look at, while we're saying this, the Laval Rocket. I talked to you about their schedule. I know that they're going to be hosting the Hartford Wolfpack tomorrow night. Yep. And then they're going to be in Belleville versus the Rocket on Sunday afternoon. And then they're going to be at Springfield Thunderbirds on Wednesday.
Might be playing against Milan Lucic.
That is absolutely correct. Yes, the St. Louis Blues farm team, and they got Lucic playing for them, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then on Saturday, they're on the road as well. So I'm trying to think of when. Okay, so they're off on Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday they're off, and the Montreal Canadiens will end up playing Tuesday when they host the Los Angeles Kings. Okay, interesting. Question number 4. Sean Icon, how much more does Kirby Dach have to do to cement himself as a second center? So far, so good, it seems.
Let's give it some more time, but right now he's playing really well. Remember last year he went on a heater right around Christmas time, and then it kind of tailed off. But for about a 5 to 7 game run, he was really good. He's got to keep it going now.
Question 5. Why was Veleno on the ice when the Devils pulled their goalie?
We've been talking about that, Phil, throughout most of the show. We're kind of at a loss as to why Joe was getting the amount of ice time that he was.
Question 6. Dreams 369. What can the Habs do to adjust the defense so that they play a more clear the goalie like Savard, Gouli, Weber used to do? I know what they can do.
You'll get Gouli back at some point here. That's going to help. And I think, obviously Jaden's been pretty good at it. Arbor can be good at it. They'll be okay at that.
Question 7. Gary Faber, could Bolduc be battling an injury of some type? No.
I don't think so.
Me neither.
I don't think so, honestly. I just think that they got to find a way to get him back. You know, he loses his first power play position, then he starts dropping down in the lineup, and now he's kind of pigeonholed as a fourth line guy, and he's better than that. So
a friend of mine had a question, and he says, ask Pierre McGuire. So I'm going to ask you. Bolduc's in the final year of his contract. He was off to an unbelievable pace. My friend's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, if he plays a lot and he plays with good players and he scores a lot of goals, they're going to have to give him a lot of money. And I looked at him and I said, they want to win games, man. If they think he can help them win games, you know, Lane Hudson was in a contract year 2, and they were giving him all the ice time in the world. Mike Matheson's in a contract year 2, and they're giving him all the ice time in the world. Pierre, your thoughts? You want to tackle that?
Yeah, I'll tackle it. No problem. There's nothing to it. There's no management team in the league. Maybe back in the old days they would do that. Not anymore. Wins. These points are so precious right now. You got to win. You got to play your best guys. That had nothing to do with long-term contracts. It does not.
I don't think teams do that anymore, Pierre, because like you said, it's such a competitive league and there's so much money at stake. You either win or you probably get fired. And nobody wants to get fired. Pierre McGuire, thank you so much for this. We'll watch the Canadiens and the Utah Mammoth on Saturday night, and then you and I will be back on Tuesday when the Montreal Canadiens host the Los Angeles Kings. I'll talk to you then at the end of the game, Pierre.
Have a great weekend, Tony. Thank you so much.
All the best to you. There you have it. Special Vago brings you Pierre McGuire. Point S and GT Radial are offering you a chance to win a new set of GT Radial winter tires, plus free installation at a Point S garage, a total value of $1,000. Go to the Instagram pages of the Sick Podcast and Point S to check out all the details. The contest ends on the 16th of November. Special thanks to Betway. Special thanks to Bittt at Tibi. Special thanks to Playground. And special thanks to Energy Transportation Group. Special thanks to all of you for staying up and watching the Sick Podcast and supporting. If you like the podcast tonight, leave us a 5-star review. It's our way of feeling the love. I want to tell you that tomorrow on my French sports show, Monday to Friday, on this same YouTube channel at 10 a.m., and really appreciate, I would imagine that most of you are bilingual. If you can watch it, it's a very much a different show than this one. This is a Montreal Canadiens specific podcast. That one there is a Montreal/Quebec teams, athletes kind of show, but we talk about everything, including the NFL and the CFL and the MLS. And of course, there's a large emphasis on the Montreal, huge emphasis on the National Hockey League and the Montreal Canadiens. What that show has is different collaborators than this show. So it's different voices. You haven't heard their opinions on here because they're working there. And this podcast that I do in English has voices here that you won't have there. And every now and then I may use one. I use Simon the Snake Boisvert sometimes on the English podcast as well. But tomorrow, I'm going to talk with the head coach of the Laval Rocket, Pascal Vincent. I'm also going to talk with Anthony Martineau of TVA Sports right before he takes the plane to come back home, to come to Montreal. I'm going to talk with former NHLer Eric Bélanger, and there's going to be a huge debate on various sports matters, including the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry, which once again had another showdown tonight with Sid the Kid coming out on top, as he has more often than not, versus Ovi. They'll talk about that as well. Hope you can watch tomorrow morning en français. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bonne nuit. Ciao for now.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different. Bittt. Embrace your true nature. And Playground, your premier gaming destination.